Hi, it's Sue. Thanks for joining me for today's Bible reading for July 11th. I am reading Psalm 140 to 145 today from the World English Bible. And for those who are wondering, the World English Bible is not some kind of cult Bible. I'm surprised I haven't had anybody say anything about that because it's not very well known. But a few months ago, I talked about this, and actually I talk about it every so often. It's known to be a solid translation. It's hard to get a printed copy of it because of the way there's just not a publisher that's publishing it because it's the only uncopywritten Bible that's out there. Excuse me. And as far as I understand it, that was intentional by uh, the person or persons that developed it. Um, Also, we only have 2 days left of reading Psalms. I can't believe we've got through it already. There were 29 days worth of reading for this book or collection of Psalms. And we have this one and tomorrow's, and we're done. As I said, 140 to 145. And I had mentioned earlier that some of these Psalms are called a Psalm of Ascent. And I have a little blurb I picked up off the internet, two of them actually, about that. It says, this is just a Google search, Church of the Servant, crc.org. I don't know anything about that website, but it says, what is the Psalm of Ascent? A Psalm of Ascent, Psalms 120 to 134, have existed as a pilgrim psalter for the Judeo-Christian faith for over 2 millennia. They are a unique collection of psalms, shorter than average, with a distinctive folkiness, that were sung by the Jewish pilgrims as they traveled up to Jerusalem for the great feast. So this other one says, it just adds a little bit more insight. This is from preachingtoday.com. It says the Psalms of Ascent returned the Hebrew people to their nomadic faith roots in Abraham and the liberation journey of the Exodus with Moses. So that speaks to the content of the Psalms. It reminds me kind of like, marching soldiers singing their army songs. These were songs of remembrance that they would sing on the way up to the feasts. It's a way to teach the younger generation and just keep it in the forefront of their mind why they were doing what they were doing. And this little blurb says, these Psalms do the same for us today. They remind us that our life with God is a journey. So let's look at today's Psalms 140 to 145. Psalm 140, verse 1, for the chief musician, a psalm by David. Deliver me, Yahweh, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man. Those who devise mischief in their hearts, they continually gather themselves together for war. They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Viper's poison is under their lips. Selah. One thing I love about the Bible is that it just shows you how human nature never changes. It's all the same. The things that go on in the world, they come in different shapes and forms and ways, but they're still the same. There's still these evil people devising war today, isn't there? Verse 3, they have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Viper's poison is under their lips. Selah. Yahweh, excuse me, keep me from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent men who have determined to trip my feet. The proud have hidden a snare for me. They have spread the cords of a net by the path. They have set traps for me. Selah. I said to Yahweh, you are my God. Listen to the cry of my petitions, Yahweh. Yahweh the Lord, the strength of my salvation, you have covered my head in the day of battle. Yahweh, don't grant the desires of the wicked. Don't let their evil plans succeed, or they will become proud. Selah. And for those, just jumping on new to the Bible, Selah simply means, pause and reflect. And then this name Yahweh, even now after reading it for almost a year, I'm still not used to that because I think a lot of the translations translate that Lord, which is so much more familiar to us, especially in English churches. I haven't looked, but I'm sure that's what King James says. Some of them, I think, say Adonai. So, we don't normally use this term Yahweh, but that's all it is. It just means it's generally, I think, interpreted as Lord. Okay, I paused the recording to go look in my Bible because I'm stumbling over my words again. And even though I'm 99.99% sure that what I was saying was correct, I want to be accurate. So I got out a couple other of my translations, and my Holman Christian Standard Bible says, Lord, I'm looking at Psalm 140, rescue me, Lord. My New Living Translation, so this is, my very favorite, says, oh Lord, rescue me. The Complete Jewish Bible uses Adonai. And the King James Study Bible says, deliver me, O Lord. And then my modern English version, deliver me, O Lord. So, like I said, normally it's Lord, or in the Complete Jewish, it's Adonai. So that's all it is. If you're weirded out by the use of Yahweh, it's just the literal translation of this particular version of the Bible. Verse 9. As for the head of those who surround me, let the mischief of their own lips cover them. Let burning coals fall on them. Let them be thrown into the fire, into miry pits, from where they never rise. An evil speaker won't be established in the earth. Evil will hunt the violent man to overthrow him. I know that Yahweh will maintain the cause of the afflicted and justice for the needy. Surely the righteous will give thanks to your name. The upright will dwell in your presence. Psalm 141, a psalm by David. Yahweh, I have called on you. Come to me quickly. Listen to my voice when I call to you. Let my prayer be set before you like incense, the lifting up of my hands like the evening sacrifice. Set a watch, Yahweh, before my mouth. Keep the door of my lips. Don't incline my heart to any evil thing, to practice deeds of wickedness with men who work iniquity. Don't let me eat of their delicacies. Let the righteous strike me, it is kindness. Let him reprove me, it is like oil on the head. Don't let my head refuse it, yet my prayer is always again against evil deeds. Their judges are thrown down by the sides of the rock. They will hear my words, for they are well spoken. As when one plows and breaks up the earth, our bones are scattered at the mouth of Sheol. For my eyes are on you, Yahweh, the Lord. In you I take refuge. Don't leave my soul destitute. Keep me from the snare which they have laid for me, from the traps of the workers of iniquity. Let the wicked fall together into their own nets while I pass by. Psalm 142, a contemplation by David when he was in the cave, a prayer. I cry with my voice to Yahweh. With my voice I ask Yahweh for mercy. I pour out my complaint before him. I tell him my troubles. When my spirit was overwhelmed within me, you knew my route. On the path in which I walk, they have hidden a snare for me. Look on my right and see, for there is no one who is concerned for me. Refuge has fled from me. No one cares for my soul. There's a word for the lonely out there. I cried to you, Yahweh. I said, you are my refuge, my portion in the land of the living. Listen to my cry, for I am desperate need. Deliver me from my persecutors, for they are too strong for me. Bring my soul out of prison, that I may give thanks to your name. The righteous will surround me, for you will be good to me. A psalm by David, Psalm 143. Hear my prayer, Yahweh. Listen to my petitions. In your faithfulness and righteousness, relieve me. Don't enter into judgment with your servant, for in your sight no man living is righteous. For the enemy pursues my soul. He has struck down my life down to the ground. He has made me live in dark places as those who have been long dead. Therefore my spirit is overwhelmed within me. My heart within me is desolate. I remember the days of old. I meditate on all your doings. I contemplate the work of your hands. I spread out my hands to you. My soul thirsts for you like a parched land. Selah. Hurry to answer me, Yahweh. My spirit fails. Don't hide your face from me so that I don't become like those who go down to the pit. Cause me to hear your loving kindness in the morning, for I trust in you. Cause me to know the way which I should walk, for I lift up my soul to you. There's some good memory verses. I memorized some of these in a different version, and sometimes they sound familiar. Like this one, cause me to know the way to walk, for I lift my soul to you. There's one that I memorized, and I don't know the address. It says, show me how to walk, for I am trusting you. So that's a common prayer of mine. Deliver me, Yahweh, from my enemies. I flee to you to hide me. Teach me to do your will, for you are my God. Your spirit is good. Lead me in the land of uprightness. Revive me, Yahweh, for your name's sake. In your righteousness, bring my soul out of trouble. In your loving kindness, cut off my enemies and destroy all those who afflict my soul, for I am your servant. Psalm 144 by David. Blessed be Yahweh, my rock, who teaches my hands to war and my fingers to battle. My loving kindness, my fortress, my high tower, my deliverer, my shield, and he in whom I take refuge, who subdues my people under me. Yahweh, what is man that you care for him, or the son of man that you think of him? Man is like a breath. His days are like a shadow that passes away. Part your heavens, Yahweh, and come down. Touch the mountains, and they will smoke. Throw out lightning and scatter them. Send out your arrows and rout them. Stretch out your hand from above. Rescue me and deliver me out of great waters, out of the hands of foreigners whose mouths speak deceit, whose right hand is a right hand of falsehood. I will sing a new song to you, God. On a 10-stringed lyre, I will sing praises to you. You are he who gives salvation to kings, who rescues David, his servant, from the deadly sword. Rescue me and deliver me out of the hands of foreigners whose mouths speak deceit, whose right hand is a right hand of falsehood. Then our sons will be like well-nurtured plants, our daughters like pillars carved to adorn a palace. Our barns are full, filled with all kinds of provision. Our sheep produce thousands and 10,000s in our fields. Our oxen will pull heavy loads. There is no breaking in and no going away, no outcry in our streets. Happy are the people who are in such a situation. Happy are the people whose God is Yahweh. Psalm 145, a praise psalm by David. The footnote says this is another acrostic psalm, with every verse, including the second half of verse 13, starting with a consecutive letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Verse 1. I will exalt you, my God, the King. I will praise your name forever and ever. Every day I will praise you. I will extol your name forever and ever. Great is Yahweh and greatly to be praised. His greatness is unsearchable. One generation will commend your works to another and will declare your mighty acts. I will meditate on the glorious majesty of your honor, on your wondrous works. Men will speak of the might of your awesome acts. I will declare your greatness. They will utter the memory of your great goodness and will sing of your righteousness. Yahweh is gracious, merciful, slow to anger, and of great loving kindness. Yahweh is good to all. His tender mercies are over all his works. All your works will give thanks to you, Yahweh. Your saints will extol you. They will speak of the glory of your kingdom and talk about your power. To make known the sons of men his mighty acts, the glory of the majesty of his kingdom. Your kingdom is an everlasting kingdom. Your dominion endures through all generations. Yahweh is faithful in all his words and loving in all his deeds. There's speak to the character of God. Yahweh upholds all who fall and raises up all those who are bowed down. The eyes of all wait for you. You give them their food in due season. You open your hand and satisfy the desire of every living thing. Yahweh is righteous in all his ways and gracious in all his works. There's more about the character of God if you wonder who God is. Yahweh is near to all those who call on him, to all who call on him in truth. He will fulfill the desire of those who fear him. He will also hear their cry and save them. Yahweh preserves all those who love him, but he will destroy the wicked. My mouth will speak the praises of Yahweh. Let all flesh bless his holy name forever and ever. And that's it for today's reading. It came to mind a minute ago. If you've been listening along, I keep pointing out how many times it mentions the loving kindness of God. I had never noticed that it was in there with such frequency in all my years of reading. I noticed the term, but I never recognized how often it was in there. So I looked it up in Strong's Concordance, and of course, that's based on King James, and this is not. So some of the wording's a little different, but for what I looked up, it was over 200 times, and I'm sure it's more than that if you go and look up the actual. All the times, maybe a different word is used in King James, but for loving kindness and kindnesses in the Strongs, it's the same exact word, and it's over 200 times. So that's something to think about. God put it in there that many times. I think it's important, right? So that'd be worth spending time thinking about today. The loving kindness of the Lord endures forever. Okay, thanks for joining me today. God bless you. Shalom, shalom.